Well, Happy New Year to you guys. Appreciate you being here. Great crowd today on New Year's Day. We needed every single one of those rear ends that were in the seat. We needed every one of them, and we heard Hoosier Nation in a big kind of way, and so we're grateful once again. Give Nebraska credit. That's a really good basketball team. I have a feeling that a lot of our big games this year are going to be like that. There's just a lot of talent from top to bottom, and night in and night out, if you're not ready to play, you're always at risk of coming up short. But I thought two really great teams battling. We didn't shoot it well, I know that, but we hit the shots that we needed to hit or we had to hit in overtime. Obviously, Sid hit a couple, hit the big three that kind of got us going, I thought. I'm so excited that we got to the free throw line. That was one of the challenges that I gave to our group. There's so many times that we prep for other teams and we talk about being aggressive, rail drives, sort of, as I always tell them, putting our ears back, pinning our ears back and attacking downhill. I thought we did a great job. Anytime you can get to the free throw line, like we did today, and shoot it at such a high percentage, that's good stuff. So, and we needed. I told him, there's different ways you can manufacture points, especially on nights when your shot's not falling. I thought Yarden at the end and Sarah, I want to point out both of those young ladies. I thought they were really, really good defensively for us. Down the stretch in the fourth and certainly into overtime. Sarah rotated over and made a couple really big plays for us. So did Yarden. To keep them, not scoring in overtime is a fantastic thing for us. And, just really proud of the way we gutted it out. As we say to them all the time, we're built for these moments. This is when you're conditioning in the summer. All those Kevin workouts that you do in the summer and all those workouts you do in preseason, this is when it shows up. You just try to outlast people because you're in great shape. And, I thought that Nebraska seemed a little tired towards the end, and I didn't think we looked like that. So great win for us today.
Coach, congratulations on the
Thanks,
game.
Skip.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Third quarter, Yarden picks up her third foul. Of course, that's kind of been an Achilles heel for her throughout this season. You kept her in, and not only did you keep her in, but you upped the aggressiveness on the defensive side. You had her come around and pull those double teams on the post. Talk about that decision.
Well, again, you have to trust. She's 6'3" out there, and we have to trust that she is a mature young lady. Although yes, she has been in foul trouble. It's just conversation. She knows that she has to stay on the floor for us. And we had to do something, Skip. I mean, they were, it felt like there for a minute they were hitting everything, right? Everything that they shot was going down, and then we would dig or we would blitz, and then they would kick it out, and another three would drop. It's just us again. I think what Coach Box was over there doing was just trying to change up what we were doing defensively to try to get them out of rhythm. They made us pay for on occasion, but we got to trust all of our kids that they realize that all of them have to stay out of foul trouble. But with Yarden, we had to roll the dice and really try to take advantage of her size, to help us.
Terry, you've talked a lot about how new this team is with all the new faces in the program, and the Michigan State game was the first time they've had to deal with a loss. So just how did they respond to that loss over the last few days, and then just how coming off of that, how big is it to pull out a game like this? Yeah,
and Seth, I think that's a great question because you guys ask me often, what are you finding out about this team, and as I said to them after we got back from Michigan State. You never get too high over a win and you never get too low over a loss, right? And then this morning, we just talked about, bounce back ability. It's not what happens to us, it's how we respond to what happens to us. And so I was as curious as the rest of you guys in terms of how we were going to bounce back, in what way we were going to respond. And And again, give Nebraska credit. They took us, obviously, it was back and forth. They had the lead. We did some, bonehead things. We probably could have extended the lead, but then we let them, throw an entry pass on the wing that gets taken by Isabel, and she goes down, scores, and puts them up 2. So we were doing, some careless things still that we have to get so much better at meeting our pass and making stronger passes to one another. But, what I always love is to hear them in those moments in timeouts. And just hear what, the good juice that they're giving each other, right? And what they're saying and how, in their minds, their perspective, how we're going to close this game out, how we're going to win this game by doing what. In all of them, you could see, Yarden's not an emotional kid. Sarah Scalia is not an emotional kid, but there were moments where there was some emotion, right? And you want them to play with emotion. You don't want them to be emotional, but you want them to play with emotion. And, I thought, like I said, especially in going into half or overtime, both Yarden and Sarah, you could just tell, they were locked in defensively, not worried so much about what we were going to do on the offensive end. They were more concerned with how we were going to get stops because they knew that was how they were going to win the game.
Another game where you utilized your freshmen a lot. How would you evaluate Lex's performance in big minutes like this with Chloe Moore McNeil helping her out there too?
She's getting better. Lexi is getting better, and as I said, Haley, I mean, when we get Grace back, she's now being able to run our offense, and that was what we were. We've been whether it's prep, whether it's in practice, grooming her to become a point guard in our system. And, she has become, at Michigan State, she had great minutes for us. And you can just see her getting a little bit better inside of every game. And, that's good for us because it certainly gives us, one, a point guard, another point guard. But now we have 3 of them, like we had a year ago. And we had Nikki and Allie and Grace, When Grace gets back, we'll go back to having 3 point guards, which is a nice luxury to have. But she's growing up right in front of our eyes, which is a really, really good thing. And she's done a fantastic job.
Terry, you talked about changing things up on defense. I think Nebraska hit 4 of their 9 three-pointers in the first quarter. What were those adjustments? How did things change?
A lot of screaming, No. Transition defense was what, we've talked about. Their arsenal is they hit a lot of threes. A lot of those threes happen early in offense, in transition. And so it was just really, reminding them that, in transition, you have nobody. You just can't run back to your player. We got to cover up the three-point line. There are jobs that each of us have to do, whether it's getting to the three-point line, getting back, and then, certainly covering strong side, and then being able to rotate and fly out, if they're going to skip that thing to weak side and so forth. And so we didn't do a very good job, of making sure, even on made baskets, there was a time that they hit that thing up and we gave up, an open 3. So, we haven't figured it all out. We still got work to do, and we got to get better after each game. But it was certainly something that, trust me, we prepped for. We knew that was part of what they like to do offensively. And we didn't answer the bell in that first quarter for sure, but I thought we started figuring some things out as the game went on.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
And in down the stretch, the second half in particular, it seemed like there were a lot of quality minutes, a lot of heady plays, and a lot of leadership shown by Chloe. She made the free throws.
Sure.
It seemed like she was really running things with this maybe highest sense of maturity
Yeah,
level.
oh, there's no doubt.
Did it look like that to you?
Yeah, again, the only thing that I wish Chloe would have done, and I think we left time on the clock for them to call the timeout, was we were in the bonus, right? And we talked to him, right before, I don't know if there was a timeout, but we had an opportunity to talk to him on the sideline, and we kept reminding them, we're in the bonus. So regardless of what we're running here, if the shot clock starts to wind down now, we got to be thinking attack. And, the only hiccup that I had with Chloe tonight was that she, instead of again, pinning her ears back and trying to, get down the rails, she pulled up and she missed that shot, and then that gave them an opportunity to go down and run something. I think Amy called a timeout after that. And so, but Lou, she's been great. She has continued. Again, she's been, for me, since Grace has been out, she's been my MVP. Because I know how difficult it is to be the point guard in our system, and I keep saying that it's not easy. But the minutes that she's played there, the experience that she's had, it's only helped her leadership ability. Again, she's one of the ones that's talking a lot in those timeouts, and she's trying to help our young guys. Really just reminding them of the little things. Yarden, meet your pass. Yarden, that you have to, get yourself open. You got to put something behind your pass. I mean, all those things. She's like having a coach, and that's what your point guard is, right? She's like having a coach on the floor. She didn't play great against Michigan State, so she did, have to bounce back today and respond in a better kind of way. And I thought that. She did that. My only wish is that she would have put that thing, on the floor and tried to get to the rim and try to get fouled. She did, but in that timely, that time, and you want, that's a time to attack. That's not a time to bail them out by shooting a pull-up jump shot 12 feet.
Terry, when it comes to the three-point shooting, there were very few shots today that were forced. I mean, most of them were quality looks. Do you find in your experience for the players, when the looks are quality and the decision-making that goes into the shot is right and they're not falling, is it easier to come out of that knowing that all the fundamentals of the shot are there, but, it's just not going? I mean, is it easier to pull out of something like that?
Todd, we want these kids, and I'll tell you why. Your confidence can only come from your work. And these kids, the Sid Parishes, the Sarah Scalias, Yarden, Mackenzie, Chloe, I can go down the list, all of them, are in that gym, and they're getting volume shots up. And I want them to take open shots. I want them to take open threes. I want them to shoot it with confidence. Nobody believes in them more than we do. And I thought in the second, at halftime, I told him, I said, we're getting a bunch of really great looks. Sid got great looks. Yarden got some good looks. It was coming off of Yarden's hand a little bit weird today. But, Sarah didn't take a three, which is unusual. No, I want our kids to shoot that thing with confidence, because I know, I see it every day. That they're getting a ton of those up, and we got to be confident. They have to be confident, and that's going to be part of why hopefully we can win games, because our ability to knock down shots.
You said back in March that the Big Ten doesn't get enough respect just on a national stage for level of play. Has the level of play and talent, has that gotten better as you've been here? And what have you seen from the conference just across the board this year?
Well, here's what I can tell you. I think the Big Ten conference by itself will be the most difficult conference in the country. And you can quote me on that, because I don't know top to bottom if you're going to have the game that you watch today are going to be games that you're going to see every week. From the Big. It's just because it's a great league with great players, with great coaches. I'm grateful that we're always trying to grow this game, that, it was on national TV today, and if you tuned into it, you got to see, two teams that really battled, and a lot of really good plays on Nebraska's side of it, and then on our side of it. There's a lot of great execution inside of that game from time to time. And it's good not just for the Big Ten, but it's good for women's basketball. It's good for other people nationally to be able to watch the Big Ten and realize that, it's really, really good league. It's a great league. And I think as we continue, you're gonna see there's gonna be more respect. We got 4 or 5 teams in the top 20, right? Top 20 right now. I mean, you look at, all of it. I mean, it's just a really great league.
I thought Lexus had a nice game today defensively too. I mean, just what are you getting from her right now?
Yeah.
What'd you see from her today? And I guess, is this a role that she, if she was first off the bench today, is this the type of role that she can kind of keep going throughout the season?
Seth just gets, she keeps getting better. She keeps looking more comfortable. And she's a great athlete. She can be a really good defender. She is on the ball. Sometimes she gets caught off the ball, watching and not rotating. And that's where all freshmen, it's their biggest jump will be made on the defensive side of the ball when they understand rotations, being in the halo, when there's a wing ball screen. And that's what I thought Sarah did tonight. We talk about you're in the halo for a reason. When there's wing ball screen action that's happening on that side, we have to have somebody that's going to protect the halo from the roll. And we talk to our kids all the time about going and making them play. And they threw that thing up twice, and Sarah went up and got it twice. It's not good enough to be there. What's good enough is that you go make a play on that. But Lexi's just going to, like I said, every game she gets a little bit more comfortable. Within every practice, she gets a little bit more comfortable. She's a kid that, has a very bright future. There's no question. We got to get her to be confident in her shot. But what I like about Lexi right now, and you have to have players like this that will sacrifice. She's not looking to get her. She understands why she's out there. She's out there to get us in our offense, and then she's out there to guard. And, she's not trying to push. She's really taken, I think, what the defense has been giving her because she is, she has stayed aggressive. But I will say I did see Chloe get on her about running because she is a terrific athlete that could get easy runouts if she's just committed to doing that. And, she's, I'm excited. I'm excited for her because I think she's really stayed patient. And she's really stayed encouraged. She hasn't been discouraged at all. It's like she understands there's a process that all freshmen go through, and she's sort of embraced, like just, keep coaching me up, keep challenging me, keep telling me where I need to be and what I need to be doing.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.